genetic modification, right? So world's first GM rubber sample tree, first rubber sapling planted in Assam. Now that is the great news. World's first rubber plant, sapling that is planted in Assam. So this is the great news. So if you go into the details, it's about the rubber board research farm on the outskirts of Navati now exhibits the first genetically modified GM suited for the climatic conditions in the Northeast. Climatic conditions. What is the climatic condition? It is extremely cold in winters. So, unlike in other parts of India, the rubber plant there should be able to withstand that extreme cold temperatures in the winters in this area, in this Assam. So that is the genetic modified the plant that has come and that has been evolved with the research and has been planted there. It is cut out, tailored to suit, to adapt to the climatic conditions of Assam during the winter. Now that is the important development. Then the GM rubber has additional copies of the gene. What is the genetic modification has been so manipulated, genetic modification has been so done that it has also an additional feature. If you remember last time, in fact, we discussed about the cotton, HTBT cotton, in which we said the BT cotton has insecticide inbuilt into it, but through the gene modification, it is also GM crop. It can kill bollworms. It kills with the seed. So that is the importance of that. So similarly, here we have rubber as copies of genes of what is called as manganese containing superoxide dismutase inserted in the plant. So in this plant that it is growing, it has the content of rubber plant has the containing superoxide dismutase. So what is the importance of the superoxide, which is expected to tide over the severe cold conditions during winter, a major factor affecting the growth. So many plants cannot grow, rubber plants there because of the extreme acute cold conditions that happen in the winter region. So the winter times. So that's why they have inserted another gene into this plant, and this has got what is called as the superoxide dismutase. This is another copy of gene has been inserted. This is an extra feature. Now this is giving it that power to withstand the adversities of the coldest weather, vagaries of the weather, high cold, extreme drop in temperatures, it could withstand. The plant was developed by the Kerala-based Rubber Research Institute of RRI. So as you can see, this is the years of effort made by the Rubber Research Institute of India, the Kerala-based research institute, this rubber plant. This is the first time any GM crop has been developed exclusively for the region after years of painstaking research in biotechnology laboratory. So using genes or living organisms in the production, in the industrial production is called biotechnology. Like the gene therapy, genome, and gene modification, all these are aspects of the biotechnology. Sorry. So for here it's a culmination of years of research, painstaking effort, wherein they have come out with this excellent rubber plant samplings, which can withstand the adversities and the cold temperatures. What is genetic modification? Now the question is, we are saying it's genetic modification. So just quickly, I would just go, for example, there is a cell. Okay, and there is a nucleus. Okay, this is the cytoplasm, there is a mitochondria, vacuoles, and all that, cell wall. Now this is the nucleus. So nucleus contains chromosomes. These chromosomes are thread-like structures. When they are elaborated, they continue to have DNA, spirally stranded helical structure. Okay, and what is the genome? Genome is a total genetic constitution of the organism. So either the plant or animal, all living cells have a unit of structural and functional called cell. And cell contains this particular nucleus and the cytoplasm with the cell wall. And this contains the chromosomes. And when the chromosomes are a thread-like structure, when they are brought, they have this DNA-like structure, which is spirally stranded, double helical structure. Okay, and there will be stepladder pattern sequence. So there are 3 billion pairs, or what is called as 6 billion letters, alphabets of what is called as purines and pyrimidines. Purines and pyrimidines. Okay. So there are the nitrogen phosphate bases. They are called bases, and they contain either adenosine, guanosine, or thymine, cytosine. Okay, so adenosine, guanosine, thymine, cytosine. But one purine will co-pair with one uridine. So ATGC. AT, one purine, one pyrimidine will be paired. This is given by Watson-Crick DNA spiral stranded helical structure. Amazing structure. This seems to be running our body. It's kind of software. When you unwind, 3 billion base pairs are is equal to 6 billion bases. What are bases? Adenosine, guanosine, or thymine, cytosine. And they occur in this combination of ATGC. ATGC step-like pattern. This is what we mean by structure of DNA. Now, when you want to prepare, when you want a genetic code, so you can use this structure to prepare what is called a sequence. Okay, right? AT, GC, like this. So, what is it saying? Genetic modification is a technology that involves inserting DNA into the genome of an organism. So, let us say there is what is called as virus and a bacteria. Okay, the virus is, we will have here. Okay, this is virus. This contains DNA. There is this bacteria, let us say. Okay, they like this bacteria. Let us say I'll put here virus. This is the virus, like a rocket-like structure. Okay, now it could be any virus. Okay, so genetic material of this is introduced into this, let us say bacteria cell. Okay, so a technology that involves inserting DNA into genome of a organism. So one organism into another organism, or introducing gene into one organism is what is called as genetic modification. What is the importance of that? When you push this new genetic material into this already existing cell, bacteria or other organism, it will incorporate these features. So the features of this will be incorporated. The features of this will be incorporated. It will acquire new characters. New characters. And that's how they become modified. So that earlier we have said that sulfur transmutase, what we have discussed in our first superoxide dismutase. Okay, so MNSOD has been a genetic property introduced in the same way. So taking that and introduced in the rubber plant cell, so that it could have withstand the climate, cold climates. So this is what we mean by genetic modification. So genetic modification is you take one organism, introduce the genetic material into it, and this genetic material, the gene will acquire new property. This living organism will acquire new properties of the inserted genes. What are genes? Genetic material is nothing but the sequences. A, T, G, C sequences could be there. What is the genetic code? Total genetic code will be like this: AT, GC, AT, DC, or AC, TG, AC, TG, or TC, AG. Okay, this is what called AG, TC, like that. So this is the genetic code. This can be taken, a piece of it can be taken and introduced here, or through a processes, biotechnological processes, using technology. Now, that is how we are introducing. So genetic modification is a technology that involves inserting DNA of an organism into this organism, and inserting, and genetic modification involves mutation, insertion, deletion of genes. What is a mutation? Mutation is a sudden change. Supposing there is a the fertilization of the sperm and ovum of living cells, the gamete, the zygote that contains 1 in 2000 gametes are likely to suddenly change. They do not have the same feature of their parents. They may undergo sudden change. Now, sudden change in the chemistry or this is the mutation. Mutation. Okay. Now, what is the other one? Insertion. For example, you want this, let us say AT is there. Now, you don't want this sequence. You don't want GC here. You want, let's say, AT here or TA here. Okay. So I can bring the TA from here in this gene and put into this. This is called insertion. This is what we have done here. So incorporation, insertion. Mutation by itself it undergoes changes. So by way of undergoing sudden change in the chemistry of the gene, that's called mutation, and by the deletion and insertion. Supposing we don't want this sequence, we can remove it through genetic scissor, ligase enzyme. Like in a genetic scissor, splicing can be done. You can remove unwanted portion of the genetic code, take out, and put the desired one. Now, that is the wonderful technology that we have today. Man is almost playing God, tinkering with nature. He has not only discovered Hargobind Khorana, the Indian scientists in 1952 have discovered genetic code, and he was given Nobel Prize for that. And ever since then, mankind has been exploring new frontiers, new challenges in the genetics. And now we are able to tinkering with the nature and change the genetic material whichever way we want it. In fact, we have come to a stage, designer baby. We can have a child with desired 2 eyes, tall stature of 6 feet, and fair complexion, or the curly hair, and that kind of combination. It can be done by manipulating. Genetic engineering is nothing but manipulation of genes. Okay, and manipulation of gene by inserting the genetic material into this, DNA into this, or by mutation, sudden change, or insertion by taking this piece and putting it here, or cutting out this unwanted portion. These are called deletion. So insertion, deletion, mutation, incorporation can be the ways we can modify the gene, so that the gene will, by losing it will lose some character, an undesirable character. By adding, it will get the desirable character, intended character through the genetic method. Gene modification is nothing but genetic engineering. It also means genetic manipulation of the material. The existing cell will acquire the properties of the new genetic material that is introduced. It will have best of both the worlds. Supposing there's a gene, this is a cell of a tall horse, let us say, but it doesn't run fast. Okay, so there is another horse that is running fast. Okay, that gene can be introduced here. So you can have a horse which can be tall and run fast, win derby races. So today you will be, horses are more costly than human beings. In fact, many rich people invest millions of dollars on that, and they invest upon its growth, upon its nutrition, upon its cultivation, and so much so that they bring a lot of fortune to those rich people. So this kind of genetic technology, for example, you have a tomato which is red, but you don't have a size. So you can bring in the cell genetic material of the big size tomato, and red colored this gene cell tomato, introduce this genetic material into this. So now you have a red color tomato which is this big. So that is what is meant by genetic manipulation, all for a good purpose, all for desired effects, intended effects. It can happen not just in plant and animals. It's already happening in plant and animals. We are also doing it in human beings. Now, that is what we mean by genetic engineering. So, genetic modification is also a part of genetic engineering. What is engineered? The genetic material of one is introduced into one by engineering it and mixing it, combining the properties. That's why it is called genetic engineering. And the deletion, insertion, cutting, all can be done like a genetic scissor by using enzymes in the cell culture in the laboratory. And then we can grow the desired one sequences. That is the importance of this. So it's quite possible today to do genetic code, gene sequence, genetic material, and also do the genetic manipulation, genetic engineering, which can treat many diseases. So that is the importance of genetic. So it is a modification involving inserting DNA. This is the DNA into another organism, right? And genome of another organism, and by it can be by insertion, which I have shown now, or deletion, taking away, or mutation, sudden change in itself. So this is the process called genetic modification. In short, it is a gene manipulation or genetic material manipulation, leading to what is called genetic engineering, a new frontier of science where man is almost enjoying the status of a demigod, of tinkering with the nature, playing with the nature. GM techniques are used. Now, what is the importance of genetic modification techniques? How they are useful to us? Why are we doing this research? To get both the characters, like the tall horse and the fast horse, red color tomato and a short tomato and a big sized tomato, so that it will get blend mixture of both the traits. Add mixture of both the traits in the resulting offsprings. And so they will have best of both the characters. Its own character and incorporated gene character from the other organism, manipulated. So it is gene techniques are used for the biological and medical research. All researchers, biology, that is like you have done, animal husbandry, agriculture, agronomy, horticulture, we are already using this. Production of pharmaceutical drugs. You'll be surprised to know that organisms are used in the production of drugs. For example, there is something called sporolac. So if you are having diarrhea and the stability of the gut flora intestine is maintained by gut flora, that is several organisms are here, E. coli, Escherichia coli bacteria. So because of the disturbance, the so-called loose motion diarrhea takes place. Now, the sporolac contains several millions of bacteria. This tablet. And when you take this along with the water, rehydrate yourself and take that, your intestinal flora gets stabilized and the loose motion stops and diarrhea is controlled. So you see, you are incorporating the organisms also into in the form of drug, and they are acting in the form of drug. So this is the how the medicine is used. Sometimes some medicines are nothing but they are the part of enzymes, drug, bacteria, or the material of the organisms that are introduced into the body as in order to treat that disease or that condition. So that is the genetic what is called GM technique used for this. Millions of bacteria are released in the body and they can take care of this. Experimental medicine, gene therapy. This is where I said gene therapy. What is it? There are about 1,300 to 1,700 human genetic disorders arising due to abnormalities of gene sequences. 3 billion base pairs or 6 billion bases. Double. 3 billion means pairs means 2 into 2, 6 billion. Number. Bases are 3 billion base pairs. They have a sequence. If there is any sequence, wrong sequence, it can manifest as a sickle cell anemia, sickle cell hemoglobin, or thalassemia, or not able to produce blood clotting factor. They are suffering. Hemophilia means a person doesn't have a clotting factor 8 in his gene sequence, and there is abnormality in the gene sequence. As a result, clotting factor is not produced, so that the person is born with a deformity. If there is a cut due to shaving or any injury, he will bleed for hours together because there is no clotting factor in the body. So because his gene is defective in that sequence, which gives them the platelet factor, which controls the bleeding and clotting, ensures the clotting. So this is an example of how you treat the genetic disorder. So if you study the sequences, okay. So if you study the exact order of the sequences and study what is wrong, then you can replace it by deletion or insertion and then correct it. And as a result, many genetic disorders now today have a chance to get corrected. So this is a very, very revolution, medical revolution that is sweeping across the world. Recently, last year, Jennifer Doudna and another co-scientist, both were given Nobel Prize in the chemistry for gene editing. So gene editing is a wonderful technology, is a part of the gene modification, like a gene therapy. So gene therapy is a form of genetic modification because you are taking away the harmful sequence with which the person is born by studying its genome content and removing that, let us say, the one that sequence should have been AT, GC, CG, AT. So let us say this is not required, but instead we require CG here again. So we can insert and take this. By doing this, we can do the gene therapy. Correction can be done. It is now much cheaper. It is very radical and very promising results are found in case of hemophilia patients who were condemned to live, condemned to die because of that condition. So that whatever the defects that you see in our condition is because of if there is some faulty gene, defective gene in the genetic sequence or that base pairs of the ATGC, ATGC. They are almost in this form, ATGC letter. They are always like ATGC, ATGC or ACG, like this. These are the letters. There can be 4 types: adenosine, guanosine, cytosine, and thymine. Okay. And in RNA, it will be uracil. Okay. So the other one is experimental medicine, that as you know, agriculture, golden rice, BT cotton. Yesterday, day before yesterday, we discussed about HTBT cotton, where they said main problem with the cotton is farmers, when they are growing for cotton, they observe that it is infested with roundworms, bollworms, like that. So bollworms, different types of pink worm and all that. So if you can have a genetic modification, wherein you can insert a gene that can act like an insecticide to kill that along with the cotton seed. It is incorporated in the cotton seed. So not only it is a cotton seed, it contains that inbuilt insecticide, which is powerful enough to kill that those worms, bollworms, which normally infest and responsible for damage and low yield and even failure of the crop. That can be overcome by doing what is called pest-resistant variety. Insecticide inbuilt into that, so that the insects do not harm the cotton crop. So that is one example of what is called agriculture. I have already said about plants, many vegetables, fruits, animals, hybrid varieties, milk production, high yield of milk, high yield of meat. All this can be produced by the agriculture, and as well as what is called veterinary science, and also animal husbandry and horticulture activities. You can use the genetic material because either plant, living animals or human beings, genes are same. Every living being has exactly a unit cell. It will have a chromosome. It will have a nucleus. It will have chromosome. They contain DNA material, and DNA sequences are also like that. 4 bases, okay, and 2 base pairs, that is ATGC and the ATGC in the sequence. So the genetically modified bacteria to produce the protein insulin is also one of the other applications. So you see, you can modify a bacteria to produce insulin so that when it is inserted, I do not have insulin. Let us say insulin is not produced in my body. What is the function of insulin? It lowers the blood sugar. So if insulin is not there, what happens? Diabetes, excess sugar, and it will damage all the functions. And diabetes, you know, is a gate to many diseases, because once it happens, multi-organs get affected, and the multi-organ failure can result. And people may suffer, and they suffer from so-called, today we are comorbidity in corona is because the people who are having diabetes are more at higher risk than the normal people without diabetes. So diabetes is something, increased sugar content that will damage the organs if they are not checked under control. So the sugar level has to be maintained the physiological normals, normal. So we can modify bacteria. So a bacteria can be modified to incorporate the gene so that it can produce insulin. Okay. Then to produce biofuel from GM bacteria. So there are many biofuels like ethanol blending, and we have talked about the Pseudomonas aeruginosa fuels. There are many bacteria that produce, that can produce the ethanol or fuel. These bacteria can produce ethanol, fuel, different types of biofuel. So we can use. Do you know that bacteria are used to clear the oil slick? Pseudomonas bacteria we can be used to spill in the oil spillings in the high seas, when there is any leakage of the oil in the high seas. Now that can be contained by sending this. In fact, there are scavenger type of bacteria that will feed on the garbage, on the rotten material, and clear that and clean the area. So environmentally protective bacteria are also, they are called scavenging bacteria. How is this possible? Because they are making genetic manipulation so that they can feed on that garbage, the dust, rotten, and waste material, and you take that and clear that, make it environmentally safe, and clear that oil slick by eating away those bacteria, feed on that and take away that oil, feed away, they feed on that, remove that oil, and so the water becomes normal. So this is the enormity of the research or impact, benefit to the mankind because of the GM techniques that are used. And the next one is to produce a GM plant, new DNA is transferred into cells of a plant, which I mentioned already. This was the cells of a plant. This is a cell, okay, and we have a nucleus here, okay, chromosome. This is the one. This is the nucleus, and these are the okay, mitochondria, Golgi body, vacuole, other cytoplasm. So you can see a new DNA is inserted into this and into a cell of a plant, and these cells are then grown into tissue culture where this. Now coming back to rubber plant that we have discussed, rubber plants are not growing in the cold weather because the cold temperature is acting as an impediment to the growth, survival of the plant, rubber plant in that Assam area. So by doing the research, they have incorporated cold resistant gene. Okay, into the cell. Then after incorporating this one, this cell now incorporated, undergone change, will be put into a Petri dish, and they will be asked to multiply. In that they grow, nurture, cultivate in a Petri dish. Those first make a genetic modification, then take this, put into a Petri dish cell plate in a laboratory, then multiply them. So then these are grown in tissue culture, this tissue culture, then they transform into plants. Then these are taken and transformed into plant, injected into plant. And these seeds that produce, so the plant produce the seeds that produce by these plants will have a new DNA, new cotton, because we have incorporated another genetic material into this, taking into this. Sorry. So as a result, the seeds produced by these plants will have new DNA. I said, what happens with the when there's a genetic material and another genetic material incorporated? It will have these features. It will also have the features of this new gene material that is into this cell. So that is the importance of the genetic manipulation or gene modification. So genetically modified means it did not have the originally that earlier rubber plants did not have that stamina to withstand the cold weather. By incorporating a DNA material of into the cell and then growing and then injecting into a tree, and the tree produces seed. Now this seed will have not only a rubber plant which grows but withstands the coldest weather, and that is what we got in the news. Now, what is the benefits of genetically modified organisms? Okay, the news has been that RRI, the Rubber Research Plant Institute of India, Kerala-based, has produced a rubber sapling out of this technique which I mentioned, and they are able to plant this. The world's first rubber plant which can withstand the cold weather has been planted. That is the thing. But behind this, what we are trying to understand the process is genetically modified itself, modification itself. What is the genetic modification? It is nothing but genetic engineering, right? So what are the benefits of genetically modified organisms for crops? Supposing if the organisms are used like the insecticide used for boll cotton in the cotton side, and now here in the rubber plant. So what is the benefit with this? This kind of gene manipulation and introducing the new genetic material into the existing plant cell, then growing it into a plant. What are the benefits? They enhance taste and quality, reduce maturation time. They grow tall faster in a lesser time. So the time is content. If it is 90 days, they may do it in 75 days. There is their maturity. So that is the beauty of the genetic manipulation, because it doesn't have its own natural content, but also the characters of the another introduced genetic material, or character of that genetic material. Increase the nutrients, yields, high yield variety. Earlier they were given 10 metric tons, let us say. Now it can give 15 metric tons. So increase. Okay. Then stress tolerance. Very good example of rubber. Stress is nothing but cold. Cold weather is a stress in Assam during winter, because they can be extremely cold temperatures. So therefore, this rubber plant has been made tolerant by introducing that genetic modification. It is able to tolerate the stress. Improved, so this can apply to many cold countries. In Europe, European countries mostly are cold. So they have a different climatic conditions. So they should have a different kind of technology, the plants that can withstand that condition. And the people living in the animal living in tropical climate, plants in the tropical climate cannot sustain in those temperate cold climates. That is the important. Now the other important, improved resistance to disease. So what we said, the boll cotton worm, insecticide to kill boll cotton worm in HDBT cotton is a very pest resistant. As a result, the boll worms cannot now attack, and the cotton can grow to the fullest possibility, high yield, and also healthy cotton can be grown. So to the disease, they tolerate the disease, pest, and herbicides. So they are resistant to all these harmful chemical substances and also insects that cause harm to these plants. So pest resistant means pests are nothing but organisms, insects, bacteria, virus, rodents. There are many other species of insects, flies. All this can cause harm to certain crops. So this by genetically modifying that crop, hybrid varieties like that, there is a climate resistant variety that can be brought out, and they can also tolerate any disease or pest and do not get attacked and grow to be healthy, normal, and in a quicker time, and also in high yield variety can be there. New products and growing techniques. Now you can understand how new products can come and go. Rubber plant example is a new product. HDBT cotton is a new example of a new product which was not there earlier. Rubber plant was a rubber plant. Cotton plant was cotton plant. Now we are called HDBT cotton. And rubber plant, we are saying the rubber plant which has a resistance to cold, stress tolerance. For animals, what it means, the GM, genetic modification, how it is useful to animal, increase resistance to the diseases, high productivity like milk, okay, and hardness, that is stamina, good stamina, they endure, and feed efficiency. They eat well, they digest well, their metabolic is good, their fitness improves. That is called feed efficiency. Better yields for meat, eggs, and milk. As I can say, milk will grow. They will become bulky, goats, animals. So the meat, increased meat. Meat can also, size of the animal increases, meat can increase. So animal husbandry products become very, very commercially very rich, and also have a good high return of value. Improved animal health and diagnostic methods. In animal condition, we can use genetic modification for improved animal health as well as diagnostic methods. So diagnostic means to find out any disease that the animal is suffering from and treat such disease. That is called diagnostic. And make it fit. And how to improve the health of the animal so that they live to be normal, grow to be normal, and they give a good yield of milk or meat or the eggs, depending in the poultry farm sector, and so on. So this is some of the examples of that. Implications of GM applications for animals. What it means to the GM for environment? Well. It means lot of benefits to the environment also. We can make friendly bioherbicides and bioinsecticides. So most of the insecticides and herbicides are very harmful chemicals when they are sprayed. In fact, if you know, for killing mosquitoes, we were using DDT, then Gemaxine. There are so many chemicals that are using. They perhaps may or may not have killed the mosquito, but they cause immense harm to the population living in this habitation. So this was the danger. Now WHO looking at that, they said there's a need to eliminate that harmful effect of the chemical to the mankind, and they should stop polluting the environment. So GM applications for the environment will be very useful as bioherbicide, very environment friendly, and soil, water, energy can be preserved. Efficiency can be good. For example, many chemicals percolate into the soil layer and contaminate groundwater table and get into the water, our body system, and you consume, and they can be carcinogenic, they can be dangerous, right? Like fluoride, getting a high content of fluoride leading to fluorosis, depositing in the bones and forming deformities, and so on. Like that, there are many diseases that can happen metabolically because of the long-term consumption of these fertilizers, chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, and so on. So GM modification application will be very useful to act chemically very effectively, minus pollution. So that is the beauty of the GM modification. So environment friendly bioherbicide, and for better natural waste management. I told you that a bacteria can be used on the wastage, garbage, waste material, and they feed on that and they clear that wastage material and make the environment healthy, ecologically healthy. So that is the beauty. By genetic modification, we can create such bacteria who can only feed on those harmful substances and make clear that debris and clean up the environment. Scavenging type of bacteria. So that's why we said natural wasting animals. So scavenging bacteria. They are called Pseudomonas group of organisms. Okay. They will be very targeting only waste material. They will be genetically manipulated like that, so that they will only get feeding on that one. Then for society, increase by doing high yield variety, pest resistant variety, withstanding the adverse climate, producing high meat, lot of eggs, then yield of milk, by doing a high yield of crop variety, cotton or any of this, particularly wheat, rice, paddy. So you are increasing what is called increased food security to the man. Immense benefit of the GM. Direct benefit to the mankind is food security. So this is a promising one. Malthus theory said food production grows in arithmetic proportion while population grows in geometric progression, and the food production will not be able to catch the capacity of the man to produce food, will not be able to cater to the growing population, right? But he has not foreseen GM modification. Now we can see high yield varieties have come. So in the same, let's say 1 acre, earlier they were producing 20 bags. Now you can produce 60 bags, 80 bags. So there's an enormous increase in the production capacity, high yield varieties because of gene modification. So perhaps now the production can also cater to the hunger needs of the population. So GM comes as a benefit, a good news a very useful use to solve the mankind's hunger problem and also overcome the drought, famine, and such is the problem. So the many countries can benefit, particularly in the African region. Even today, hunger seems to be the pandemic, or let us say endemic to many of these African countries. So there is this food security using GM can give more crops, more high yield variety, more food production in the same land. So you can't increase the land, but you can grow more within the land. 10, 20 bags, now you can go to 60 bags because of GM modification. Isn't it promising to the mankind and also a benefit to the food security? What is the issue surrounding GMO safety? Well, the adverse impacts of genetically modified are not immediately evident. See, you are introducing one genetic material to another genetic material. We don't know how they will respond. We are happy that they are producing high yield variety, tall variety, color variety, content, high yield, high milk, rubber plant with resistant to cold and all that. That's fine. Because we are taking one genetic material, putting into another. We don't know over a period of time how they will react. It is not known. So that is that danger. Then potential human health impact, allergens, transfer of antibiotic resistance markers, unknown effects. So you see, many allergens can be introduced in this manner. Again, most important is antibiotic resistance. This is the biggest problem we are facing. Many bacteria can become like they are called bugs, super bugs. Okay, they will not respond to our antibiotic. You discover any number of antibiotics and try to apply, they will not get killed. I'm talking about bacteria, not virus. Okay, so as a result, they're called bugs and super bugs. They don't get killed, so they can introduce new diseases to the mankind, and which has no treatment. So this can happen. The bacteria, taking one from one cell and putting the DNA of another one, so both becoming and this will change. So this can have a bacterial resistance. So this will not get killed by antibiotic. So what a process, you are introducing new type of bacteria which cannot be controlled by mankind. So like corona we are talking today, which has no medicine, no cure, what we are saying. So there can be many diseases that can be introduced by the bugs or super bugs, which are called due to bacterial resistance. This seems to be the major problem because of this genetic manipulation. We may introduce new diseases, and it may be epidemic or endemic for some parts of the world. We only hope it cannot be pandemic. It should not be pandemic, but it can also kill a huge number of population if it turns out to be bacterial resistance. So we know the disease, we know the symptoms, but we have no antibiotics to cure. We can only treat symptomatically, and large number of people can get killed. We are introducing bacteria with resistance, which cannot be killed. Bacteria which cannot be killed by antibiotics. So that's for new diseases. That is the problem. And unknown effects. So the potential environment impact is unintended transfer of transgenes through cross-pollination. So for example, this rubber plant is there. This flower of this can be pollinated to other plants, and they can cause cross-pollination. What is the pollination? When an insect sits on one flower, takes that content and goes and sits on other flower. So the material of the genetic material of this gets transferred to that in nature. That's called pollination, right? You all know that. So there can be the transfer of genes from one flower to other flower by way of pollination. That is one danger, cross-pollination. And for example, soil microbes, and there can be loss of flora and fauna. Soil can get damaged, and animal plant can get killed or get damaged ecologically. So this is the damage. There are some of the issues surrounding the GMO safety. So while GMO offers promising benefits like food security, excellent quality, high yield variety, and good quality product, but it also in its wake brings out all these harmful effects, which are some of the issues that need to be addressed while we adopt genetic modification in our day-to-day life. Yeah. Now there's another issue. Now, after genetic modification, some researchers have modified, some countries, some companies, multinationals have modified, and let's say Monsanto is using BT cotton, right? We have discussed. Now, this is nothing but all our farmers are depending on this BT cotton seed. So there's a dependence of farmers all over the world, particularly developing countries, upon the industrialized nations, monopolized multinational corporations produce seeds. So there's an exploitation in that sense, increasing dependence on the industrialized nation and companies by the developing country like India and also many other Asian African countries. Then the domination of food production by few companies. So Monsanto can dictate. Some countries like in Africa, they can decide. Now this is called crony capitalism, or they will run the governments, they will dictate the priorities of the government, and also they will exploit. So this is the danger in terms of intellectual property, because they have got what is called intellectual property rights. So they, even if you know the technology, you cannot produce with the permission of the, vaccine also same problem, right? We are not given permission to produce Sputnik or let's say AstraZeneca, because you have to get the rights for that. So in our country, we are producing Covaxin, Covishield, the Sputnik is coming, but we cannot produce unless property rights are permitted, permission is given. So by way of property rights, patency rights, intellectual property rights, they are, rich countries, multinationals are controlling the poor nations, poor populations. The domination of the world production by only few rich countries, rich companies rather. Increasing report by, like I mentioned about BT cotton. Then the biopiracy, foreign exploitation of natural resources. See, we are saying basmati rice from India. There is something called Geographical India Index, wherein we say basmati is native to India. Of course, Pakistan is also claiming that in the international court. But we know that it is India. And so, but there now today, we find because of this technology, they are stealing our, they're pirating or taking away these copyrights and misusing them. Because for us, basmati rice, if we have the patency, we can increase the gain in export of the basmati rice, producing more basmati rice, exporting to world countries and getting good the foreign currency, earning foreign revenues. So this is a very important thing. But because of the technology, sometimes they are stealing away our basmati rice patency and they are producing themselves, causing huge loss economically to us. Now, this is what we call as cheating or stealing our property, intellectual property rights, and the genetic material, which is very unique to us, like turmeric and also like this rice, basmati rice. All these are taken away, and they are making fortune while we are the natives who should have had the right are suffering. So this is what we mean by biopiracy. That is stealing, exploitation of our plant, animals, genetic material, or uniqueness of our genetic material, resources of our country, plant, animal are being exploited, and they are not taking any permission from us, and they are using for their own medical value, agriculture value, and for other commercial exploit, using without acknowledging our nativity, our copyrights, and our nativity. So this is what we mean by biopiracy. So this is an example. So also they are not respecting the plant and flora which are unique to African countries or Asian countries. They are not taking permission of that country. This unscrupulous multinationals and rich people, industrialists are not taking any permission from the respective countries for using that plant or animal unique properties for their medicinal or commercial value, and hence not paying any returns, tax, or what is the word used? Royalty. We are not getting royalty. Those countries are also not getting. They are stealing the natural resources. And what we should have got the royalty? Royalty is lost to us. That income, foreign currency, value, money, we are losing it. What is the ethics? Violation of natural organisms' intrinsic value. So, An organism born with natural property, by manipulating genetics, you are violating it, right? You are playing with it. You are playing with the genetic content of the this bacteria when you are introducing DNA of the other bacteria, right? So this is what is called natural organism intrinsic values are lost. Then tampering with the nature by mixing genes among species. See, one species and another species you are mixing up. In nature, it is not happening. You are mixing up. So you are tampering with the nature, going against the orders of nature. It may be dangerous sometimes. Harmful effects may be there. We may not be able to control, or we may not be able to contain. We may not be able to foresee also. So we are playing God or demigod. Think nature. We are taking this genetic material, inserting here. We are taking this genetic material, inserting into this. So we are playing and tampering with the nature. This indiscreet tinkering with nature can cause produce monitors, monsters, and many other organisms or species which cannot be controlled by us. Any organism, even microorganisms also, a new type can be introduced which we cannot be able to control. That is the danger we are having. Objection to transferring animal genes in plants and see, you can take cell of plant and introduce into another plant. That is fine. But taking a cell plant and introducing animal plant into cell, this is called transgenic. Now, this can give a very, very dangerous result sometimes. So this is objections are there ethically. Ethical is you cannot tamper with the nature. It is against the ethics. And tampering with the natural organism properties. Then objections to transferring animal into plant or plant into animal. Both are also ethically not permissible because we may introduce a new species which can be very dangerous to the mankind and adverse effects. The effects are not known, unknown. They are unknown. And we may be sailing into uncharted territory. And we may have to live with something that we cannot handle. We may have to bite something that we cannot swallow. So that's the danger we have. Now, GMO regulation in India has also come in order to check these harmful effects, which are damaging sometimes. While good effects, beneficial effects are already been discussed. Harmful effects also we have to understand. And in order to check that harmful effects, we are using GMO regulation. So the task of regulating GMO levels in imported consumable was initially with the what is called as GEAC. Okay. So this is the body, Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee under the Union Government Ministry. So what does it do? It regulates the use, manufacture, storage, import, export of hazardous microorganisms or genetically engineered products. So it is the body which oversees when you're importing some material into the country, and Government of India examines any of this material in terms of whether safety in use, safety in manufacture, safety in storage, import and export of this harmful microorganism. If they escape during the research, like you are talking about lab leak about Wuhan virus, and today we have this pandemic. The possibility is the origin is phase 2, possibility of a lab leak. So also the bacteria, very harmful bacteria can be leaked or go out of control because of poor biosafety levels. Biosafety 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are at biosafety level 4. That is the protocol we should follow in order to ensure that they don't leak. So, so the safety can be done by followed by biosafety, so which is called BSL 4. Okay, like that. So these are the ethical guidelines that we have. This is the act we have in place. In a sense, Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee guidelines are there, how to ensure the safety of this while you are dealing with the genetic engineering, that is genetic modification of plant, animal, species, and so on. That is the ethical body that we have, GMO regulation in India. So, but again, by introducing Food Safety and Standards Act 2000 and Food Safety Standard Act of Authority of India was asked to take over approvals of imported goods. So when they said that, okay, you can go and take the approval of the imported goods, that way the GMO regulations got little diluted. So that is a point to be noted.